Alright, and Kevin, James, and John are back with Tales of Symphonia. I was going back to the town to heal. That's why we're leaving. And apparently, when you go to sleep, sometimes cutscenes activate. So, kind of wasn't expecting that, so I missed a little bit of the cutscene.
I'm fine.
It may have been a design. Everyone be careful.
Seems like Lloyd's always got someone after him.
What, so it's my fault? Seriously though, we can't be too careful. I'll be fine, but Colette and the professor...
Wait, who else?
You
Is
two,
it
be careful.
just his room? Because there's 3 beds,
Thanks.
and I thought they all slept in separate
Yes, I'll
rooms.
make sure.
I think they do, except for maybe Kratos. I think Kratos and Lloyd sleep together.
Oh,
Oh,
I guess
baby.
third bedroom's just...
Gosh. Oh gosh.
I know. I should have said that.
I know. Oh gosh. Oh.
And I hear bells.
Yeah, that's the sleeping noise whenever you sleep at the end. There was another. Yeah. Here we go. Now we're back to the ruins. As I said, just some cutscenes activated while I was healing, doing stuff, and that was about it. I think we're actually going to get to the first major boss this time, because he actually does hurt a fair amount. But yeah, just gotta go and solve it this time properly, so shouldn't be too bad. Shouldn't be any enemies we haven't seen before either. Or we have... Yeah, we haven't seen. So it should just be cutting in and out and getting to the boss fairly quickly.
Is the boss mostly taking magical damage?
This boss doesn't, actually. This boss is
No,
just...
it's not going to be as hard as the mimics.
Not as intentionally hard, I would say.
Yeah.
I'd say it's fairly easy. The mimics aren't too bad either, unless you mess up, obviously, like I was doing.
We were high enough. You've over-leveled it, haven't you?
Yeah. Level 15. Even then, this boss, I think, did manage to take out one person, but that's... As I said, Rain kind of isn't a great healer right away, because if I remember correctly, she doesn't actually start with her heal, so...
Oh, you gotta grind them up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it's...
I remember you mentioning that.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I really like the music for this game, but I get really tired of this soundtrack because it plays, I think, in all the dungeons.
Oh, it doesn't vary?
Not if I'm remembering correctly, because if I'm remembering correctly, this is the same music that was also playing for when Colette went and started on her path to becoming a Chosen.
Dang, I wish... I don't know, I would have thought that they would,
Yeah.
I don't know, they'd spice it up. Maybe just change a couple notes and make it so that it changes as you get...
Which would have been nice. I was going back to Skies of Arcadia. Skies of Arcadia did change it for most of them. I think it did share a couple, and that's fine. But at the same time, it was varied enough. I know we were talking about music last time, how it can be... we didn't even really finish that thought, how it can be immoral to download the soundtrack, even though the soundtrack's really good. And sometimes there's a slight caveat where it can be really hard to obtain the soundtrack. I know that I've talked about this with you guys before. The Guild Wars 2 soundtrack might be one of those slight caveats due to the fact it's $500 on Amazon. So.
Oh, yeah.
So that might be a slight caveat, unless you can buy it from the. I think you can buy it digitally on iTunes, if I remember correctly. So.
I guess that's not as bad then.
No, but if you want the
It's more of
physical
a collector's thing, I guess.
Yeah. I know that I have downloaded one soundtrack and I felt really bad about it, but that was before Nintendo did start focusing on Earthbound again.
Also built with Magi
Yeah.
technology.
But we can talk about that
You
after.
said that was before you had the game, so now you... Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say we can talk about that after, because we're getting into some plot exposition as well as... Yeah, we're getting into a fair amount of plot exposition this time, actually. And there we go. It's basically just a big fire dog.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It has a lot of health, though.
Yeah, it looks like its flesh is scorched. It's all black around the fire areas.
Understood.
So the enemies actually for a GameCube game happen to look fairly good, I'd say. Let's see if I remembered. Let's see if I remembered to actually get the boss. Yep, there we go. Okay, I'd be surprised, honestly. Most of the time, by the way, you want to use the magic lens with Rain, and I sometimes forget that. Rain gives a lot more information than Lloyd does, mainly because, you know, she's the smart character, so you gotta use the smart character to find out information in enemies, that type of trope. Also, I don't know why I didn't disable Fireball in Genis. That would have been a good idea, since that doesn't help much against the fire enemy.
Oh, yeah. Does it heal them, or does it just not do anything?
I just don't think it does much damage, if I remember correctly. I don't think it heals him, thankfully.
That's what in Persona, specific enemies you come across would have. Initially, you wouldn't know until you had your whoever was guiding you scan them, and then say, "Oh well, it's weak to this, it blocks this, and it drains, which means it heals from this." So usually you could say, "Oh well, it's on fire, so ice attacks are probably better against it, and fire would heal it." But some enemies, it would obnoxiously make it so everything except for one element is blocked or drained.
I was gonna say, I think they're pretty bad about that in Persona 4 as well, actually, because I seem to recall a couple enemies being like that. How I want to say one of the first areas. I mean, obviously it's the first area, so you don't need to use it. That I think it was wind, and I don't think you really get wind until a fair amount later in the game.
That was golden, right?
Okay.
Yeah, that was golden. So I think
They
go ahead.
they rebalanced that, I think, because 4 was a breeze because I just used the same party all the way through the end of the game. Party was completely fine, but in 3, you had to level up most of your party. Other than I think I didn't level Kenner or Koromaru too much, but everyone I had to keep on level, and some of the bosses were unforgiving. Like there's one called the Table. It's some kind of table, which is harder than virtually everything else. It's literally just a table with a face on it, but it would. I think it could. There's different types of spells, fire, ice, whatever, and you could throw up something that would shield you from all magic and physical. But then there's a specific kind of magic called Almighty, which just does damage irregardless of any protections you have. So you could be, oh, I'll be smart. He can't hit me because I'm protected from physical and magic. So he would just spam Almighty until you died.
Right. Oh, I may as well comment on this real quickly. There's one really stupid thing about Tales of Symphonia. In order to regenerate TP in a battle, you have to go and use melee attacks. So you get to see the ranged characters coming in and using melee attacks on occasion for boss fights. Which, you know, I find that kind of silly, but at the same time, it's like... I was gonna say
they're not supposed to be in the fight too much.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's not an easy solution, and then I thought about that. They could have given them a ranged weapon, but they didn't.
Chosen of regeneration, offer your prayers at the altar.
Yes, my lord.
Hi, Remiel. How are you doing?
I think that
Oh, Goddess Martel.
I forgot what that was, but I looked it up and it was one of the names of the archangels in the Book of Enoch.
Of course it is.
Okay.
Gosh darn it, Japan.
I don't think Enoch is canonical to us. I know there's some parts of the Torah and I think other Hebrew books that are and aren't canon because of some stuff. Because even Judaism itself is split off into different sects. Like the Samaritans are their own version of Judaism, whereas Jews and I guess us believe that Mount Zion was where, we believe in Mount Zion as a holy place. They believe in some other places, the holy mountain.
Mm-hmm.
Colette, my dear daughter.
Yeah, I was gonna say I know that they've definitely had their disputes because I was gonna say I think even during the time of Jesus there were some people that thought only the first 5 books of the well, I can't remember what the Jewish version, but the Bible should only be used for word from God, and I can't. Yeah. So.
Yeah, and there was the divide between the Pharisees and the Sadducees. I know one of them believed in resurrection, as in like when we all died, we would come back, like there would be the resurrection of the dead. And the other said, no, once you die, that's it. You're gone.
I was gonna say, here she is starting to become an angel. She gets her wings first. Remember, in order to become a chosen, you have to become an angel. So that's the whole point of unlocking all the shrines.
It is but for one night.
Okay.
Be strong and endure.
Also, they tell her it really hurts. Just a heads
The
up.
next seal lies far to the east.
Hey, hope you like the wings. They're really pretty, but you're gonna be in the most excruciating pain in your life.
Oh yeah,
tonight,
it gets worse. It gets even worse for later ones.
I just can't imagine. I mean, he said it in a more eloquent way so they could say, "Oh, okay,"
I
but
shall
it's,
await you at
hey,
the next
dude,
seal.
it's really gonna hurt. I'm not even lying.
Generation.
Yeah,
My
exactly.
beloved daughter Colette.
But as I said, we actually got to a little bit more plot, how we were advancing and how Colette is progressing now.
Uh-huh. And look, I can put them away too.
I thought they would like fold up or something, but they just kind of like they
Disappear.
pause the game and just type the command to remove them.
Yeah, pretty much. I love this cutscene though. How excited Genis gets sitting still in the background.
I can't wait.
A ship.
I was gonna say, I want to mention this. Technically, you don't ever have to get on the ship, by the way. It's just, if you don't, you'll typically be under-leveled for the way you go. So they expect you to go on the ship, but if you don't go on the way of the ship, it'll actually unlock a couple of extra cutscenes that you normally wouldn't see.
Yeah, I
Oh,
guess
wow.
because you're taking the hard way, going the long way around.
Yeah, and I didn't do it because I didn't know that actually happened. I thought you had to go on the ship, and then I did some more research and went, wow, I really wish I'd gone the hard way. Because it's like, I did start going towards that continent, and I got in one fight to see if I could take on the enemies, and I ran into 2 ogres, which happens to be some of the hardest enemies on that continent, and it's like, wow, I won, but it used up a lot of stuff. I'm going to go the normal way.
Yeah, usually I'll go probably the opposite direction, but I try to go away from where the game's steering me because there might be something. At least that's what. I think it was. May have been about Thief. I may have been an Errant Signal. Errant Signal did some pretty good analysis of games, and he mentioned how used to be the old way of hiding things for the player to find, which it would reward you for being, looking around and inspecting stuff. But nowadays it's just you're expected to find something underneath the stairs.
Mhm.
They'll just
yeah.
before a boss battle they'll just leave you stuff
That's true.
because they're supposed to. But in the old games, you had to really look around. You'd find a lot of nothing, but maybe you found a switch behind this random painting in this random hallway, and now you've got a potion of whatever.
Yep.
Why? Not because the game developers were shuttling you that way, because you went off the beaten path and said, I want to look around.
Oh, her lips are turning purple? That's not typically a best idea. Or best thing to happen? Yeah, I hear what you're saying. We just have some more exposition just showing just how much it hurts her.
So the lips are turning purple, right?
Yeah. And she fell down because I think she was starting to lose feeling in her legs.
Yeah, let's take her to a doctor's. Alright, well, what's the problem here? Well, you see, her father's an angel, and then he appeared, and then she got wings, and then he said, yeah, this is really gonna hurt. And that's about all we know. So
Yeah.
we're hoping you can figure it out for us.
Exactly. Have fun, Doctor.
You're right. I'm sorry.
Well,
Oh, she
anyway,
fights
let's
with,
set up
I
camp
think,
before it gets
chakram.
dark.
Does she throw them or just fight with them
Both.
like swords?
Both. So, not too bad. Typically, yeah, she kind of is a both fighter.
Yeah, because I saw the chakrams and my immediate thought was Xena, Warrior Princess. I was like, she probably has to throw those.
Yeah. Actually, now that I think about it, I think she's the only one that has a long-range melee weapon.
What about the ball and cup that Genis has?
No, I mean I think it's a little bit. I think it's a little bit longer distance, but not terribly far.
Yeah, I guess because you're kind of whipping, almost like it's a flail, but you're actually throwing, so it's a bit longer distance.
Mm-hmm.
There's probably a Skyrim mod for chakram. I figure that it's very unrealistic, but a chakram would be a pretty cool weapon to have.
Yeah.
Strange that there's no music. It's just this awkward silence.
Actually, there is a sound of a campfire. It's just hard to hear at the moment.
Yeah.
I can hear it.
Okay. So I was going to say, they were going more so for ambiance with this one than, yeah.
I guess because some major plot just got exposed, so they want you to
Mhm.
sink it in without any music.
And here we happen to find out that Lloyd's X-Sphere is a little different. We don't know why yet. We just know that it is.
His Noise has just been his maybe not a dog, but just his pet his whole life then.
Yeah, he's had Noish his whole life. For a couple years at the very least. Now we just have Kratos and Lloyd talking to one each other, finding out more about the other one. Which kind of, I was gonna say, kind of makes sense since, you know, mercenary from nowhere.
Oh yeah, I know
Yep.
it's kind of late now, but here's your birthday present.
Yeah, a week or so late, and
No, it's broken.
it's broken.
I wonder when it broke. I'm sorry, I'll make you a new one.
It's alright. It's not like I'm in any kind of agonizing pain,
I'm
right?
sorry that I keep talking
It
to
doesn't,
Yeah.
it doesn't hurt at all.
Don't worry about it.
It's, hey,
By the
you're in
way,
some agonizing
you
pain,
haven't
but
been
I don't
eating
make you
at all.
happy this.
Are you
Oh,
still feeling sick?
never mind.
No,
I
I'm
messed
fine.
everything up.
I just don't seem to have much of an appetite.
You won't be able to keep up your strength if you don't eat.
I know.
Probably
you're
hurts
right.
when she eats.
Not quite. Just do remember that she's starting to not want to eat.
Yeah.
Colette is delicate.
Yep.
Unlike you.
I won't say any more than that, but it is something to keep an eye out for.
I'm sorry, Colette.
No, I'm okay. I'm really sorry for worrying you. I'm gonna go for a little walk.
You want me to come?
Thanks, but I'll be
Wait, we just said the professor and Colette shouldn't be by.
Hey,
Wow.
shut up, Genis.
Oh
What's
man,
happening
so
to
much
me?
for wingman.
Yeah.
Here we are back there.
Yep. Now we're just moving on again because we did the Colettes, we did the first temple, so now it's time for us to move on.
Yep.
I think we have one last thing to do in town.
Still going to trip.
Yep.
Yep.
You have to find out.
He's like the second klutz.
Yeah, I think he more so gets overly excited than anything, so then he kind of forgets about himself.
Yeah.
Plus, I mean, he is a lot younger than anybody else in the group. I want to say he's at least 4 years younger than Colette and Lloyd, if I remember correctly.
yeah, he seems a lot younger than Lloyd.
Yeah, but he's also a lot smarter than Lloyd.
Oh, it's the young genius trope.
Yeah, it's the younger trope, exactly.
Okay.
And if I remember correctly, we are... Yep, okay. Looking at the title. And typically I'll go for intelligence, but I like that title, honestly. It's a cute little title.
Just realized he tripped on sand.
To be fair,
He didn't trip on the stone thing in the center. He just tripped on sand.
it could have been a sand mound. I'll give him that. I'll give him it could have been a sand mound. It probably wasn't, but maybe.
At least it didn't hurt too much, I guess. I really do like the wandering music. It has that,
Yeah. I was gonna say, I think that does happen to change more. Like, not every town uses the same music. So I think this
That's
is...
actually a shame then. I wouldn't
Yeah.
mind listening to this more often. It's just the dungeon music I'd like to vary.
The dungeon music would be nice to change. The town music can be really good. I think that this is for desert towns. Typically, this music is associated with. So I do think it. If there's another desert town, I can't remember at the moment. I do think it gets used again later. Of course, I could be misremembering as well. So maybe it is used more frequently than I remember.
Yep. There's a lot of game to remember.
Yeah, 2 whole discs.
I keep forgetting that. See, I actually never had to I never really had any experience with 2-disc games, other than I think Driver 2 on the PS1, but I never managed to beat a specific mission, so I was always stuck on disc 1 and never got past it. But people say, oh, this game on the Xbox 360 is 3 discs, or this is 2 discs. I never had that experience.
There's a really big one on the Xbox 360. I can't remember what it was. Also, we just found out Colette's not hungry. I would like to make a note for that she is eating less and less.
Okay.
There was some kind of RPG and bandits, or thieves. I was gonna say, we have to be going to an enemy we haven't seen, and it's just thieves. Nothing too bad. Obviously, we'd be doing a oh, by the way, when they're blinking red like that, they take less damage, because after they get knocked down, they take less damage, so.
Wow, that guy really screamed as if he was really gonna die.
Yeah.
Yep.
That wasn't like, ow, you bonked me on the head with a wooden sword. That's, oh my gosh, my life has ended.
Mm-hmm. So now, not only they're pointing out she hasn't been eating, but they're also pointing out that she's eating things she doesn't like.
So she's getting cravings.
Not cravings. Not quite.
Cravings.
I won't spoil it, though.
So, are there any other symptoms present?
I was like,
Not at the current moment. That happens. What you're thinking of happens at the next one.
okay.
Oh, actually, I was just setting up a crass joke, but whatever.
Oh, gotcha. But no, there's... Oh, those big stone pillars, by the way, that's how you ride Noitian areas. You have to find that pillar, and then you can ride Noitian. I typically don't, just because it's beneficial, but at the same time, there's pros and cons. The cons mainly being the fact that if you ride Noitian, you can't see items on the overmap. Oh, here's the cutscene that I was wanting to bring up last night, but I wanted to wait till we actually got here.
Like the apple. Oh.
There's a
Hi, person.
girl.
Yeah.
Not that I'm aware of.
Is the chosen of mana among you?
Oh, that's what's her name? Who's been in, I think, Jennifer Hale.
You might be right. I'm not going to look her up, though, because if I do, we're going to get into the last episode where half of the episode was us talking about what she's been in. So, I'm just going to not do that. We can do that next episode. I don't want to have... Oh, I love this music that's playing at the moment, though.
You don't need to worry about it. If she had not fallen in, you might have been killed.
Also, here's Colette being a klutz again.
Who leaves the lever to their trapdoor right there?
It wasn't... It's actually mine. And I think that does explain it in a
Guess I
second.
do feel a bit sorry for her.
Okay.
I hope she's okay. Even assuming her weight to be 45 kilograms, and this hole to be 10 meters deep, and calculating the gravity constant at 9.8.
Yep, boy Genis trope.
Gravity constant?
Strong but dumb trope. Let me just get my bingo chart out right
Yeah, we really should. We should have an anime trope chart going on here. Okay, me. You can press the A button now. There we go.
You had to think about it for a visit. Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
Bad luck standing right on top of a trapdoor.
That's not luck, that's awareness.
that is
It's not
true.
a trap. It's a hidden
There we go.
entrance passage for the mountain path.
We should get moving.
That's a pretty foreboding hole in the ground, considering it's just black darkness.
Oh, we get back to that. We get back to that later too.
On her own.
How close is this to the end?
Too confined.
Oh,
The footing is poor. It would be
6
wise
minutes.
not to linger.
Alright, I'm going to mute myself for
Okay.
just a
go
second.
ahead. But yeah, we can close it back. She fell down, and now let's just make sure she can never get out by closing the hole. And now we have some more thieves, archers, and witch.
It's the very stereotypical European witch.
Yeah, it really is, I was gonna say. Then again, it shouldn't surprise us too much, I suppose, with how they depict other things.
Yeah, it's sort of like how we use, I don't know, we have an image of what Buddhist monks and samurai and stuff look like.
That is true, too. They look like what? They look like white guys, and they're the last samurai.
Yeah, just
Yep.
put a, just put an orange robe on him and shave his head. See, he's Buddhist monk.
Mm-hmm.
Easy.
Oh, hey, they made a cabbage roll while you were fighting.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you cook while you're fighting?
You do it after. And here we have bears and. Go ahead.
Like, so you go fighting and like, you know what? I could really go for a cabbage.
Mm-hmm. I was gonna say, here we have bears and mandragoras, and bears are actually a decent experience at this level, and they also drop an item that's worth 1,000 geld, but you don't want to use it because it's a crafting material. So the only time I try to sell crafting materials myself is once I hit 20, because that's the one thing I really don't like about this game. You can only have 20 of an item.
The combat moves are getting way more cinematic now.
Yeah, the more you go on, the more stuff that you can do. It starts off really basic, and then it starts to explode, I suppose would be a good way to put it.
Yeah, it's sort of like the Final Fantasy party moves.
Yeah. But no, I was going to say, going back to music, because I know we have a minute or two to talk about this. Yeah, go ahead and clip that staff. Yeah, I was going to say, I know that I did that with Earthbound myself, mainly because at the time Nintendo really wasn't focusing on bringing any Earthbound stuff to America. It was keeping it all in Japan. They released Earthbound or Mother 2 in America fudge 93, and we hadn't really heard anything about it coming to America since then. So it's like, alright, I guess they don't really care about America. And then, you know, I obviously do feel bad about having done that, but at the same time I did buy the soundtrack and I bought the game twice now, so...
Yeah, I did the same thing. I got a, I think I had a game. I got the soundtrack. It's like, you know what? I'll get it on disc.
Yeah,
There's ones where there's no physical way to purchase the music because it was never put up.
Oh,
or
gotcha.
Put anywhere. So the only way to get it is to literally just get it from the game.
Yeah. No, I suppose one other thing, I just hope that the way that I got the disc that I got was legal. I think it was, but it was through a Kickstarter.
Was that a Desian back there?
No, it just looks like it. That's what.
Okay.
That's the model they use for humans for some reason. But the way that I got the Earthbound music was through a Kickstarter, so I think that they had to pay royalties to ship it over from Japan to here, and that's what was going on.
That was probably legit. They've got
Yeah.
checks and balances, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. And that's what I was thinking too, so it's like... But no, as I said...
Even then, you wouldn't be culpable for anything because that literally would have just been the Kickstarters for
Right.
something like that.
And I
And
agree,
there's
but...
no way they'd say, hey, all of you who got this, we need you to ship it back.
Right. And I agree, it's just still like, you know, obviously want to do the right thing, but I agree 100%.
Wait!
Hi!
Wow, she caught up with me.
Oh, thank goodness.
Don't move.
A wise decision.
I'm looking around for any
I won't
trapdoors.
be caught off guard this time. Prepare to die.
I was gonna say, not this time. Colette does fall, though.
Time to die.
What is she fighting with? It looked like she's holding cards.
She is holding cards.
What does she throw them or
Nope, she just comes and slaps you with them. As I said, there's not very many long-range characters that use melee, I should say.
Whoa, actually she's got a persona.
Yeah, but she can't use it multiple times. It's one and done.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, she can't. She's not a wild card. They can swap it for something else.
Nah. Which is really kind of weird, but we'll get into the reason for that later. I think I pressed the wrong button there. Or I just
Okay.
didn't happen to notice that Rain was getting the heck beat out of her while I was focusing on the companion. And I don't think I've still noticed.
Because you said early on anyway that Rain's really weak because of she doesn't have any healing spells
Rain
on
is
her, or
pretty-
any damage or anything.
Rain is particularly weak early on, because I was going to say, otherwise she would... once you see her start casting Photon, that's her first damaging move. And she doesn't... That's about the only damaging move she has. She can be a really good healer and support, because she eventually gets, obviously, heals, resurrection spells, status removals. She gets... crap, what are the other things? increases defense, increases offense, stuff like that. So eventually
Oh, yeah,
she
like
becomes
buff
useful.
stuff.
It's just early on she starts with so much nothing. It's like you could have given me at least a bone here, guys.
Yeah, it's not fun to have to focus on leveling specifically healer. They need cut it so I can
Yeah.
get some healing spells on the output, so we at least have some heals, and we're not walking around with dead weight until they're a specific level.
Exactly. And I will say that I obviously did a really bad job with this fight.
Wait,
Just
did
so
it
you
call
know.
her clumsy assassin?
It did. We don't know her. We don't know her name yet. All we know her at the moment is question mark, question mark, question mark.
She's not even clumsy. She's just that was Colette's fault that she.
It was, but I mean, I guess they could have called her trapdoor assassin, but that would be about it.
It's like me walking through the doorway and someone opening the door in my face and saying, "You're clumsy."
Wait,
Come back. We want to talk.
they're trying to kill us.
There are always those that reject salvation.
Maybe she's a Desian.
Who knows? At any rate, we are in constant danger. That's all we have to know.
That is a true statement. That is all that you have to know.
Professor, something wrong?
Oh no.
No,
Was
it's
she-
nothing.
Yeah, of course.
Let's go.
She actually doesn't recognize her, or at least if she does, it never gets brought up in the game.